Hey everybody, this is Trent. I just want to kind of go over what I see a lot in runners, which is hip tightness, and specifically what I want to talk about right now is hip rotation. So kind of what I'm talking about is, when you kind of sit cross-legged, how far down can your knees go? That's part of what is external rotation. So that is basically, looking at how far your foot rotates out or your whole leg rotates out. So we're looking at how the ball rotates in the socket. Okay, so we're looking at where that might be hitting, or maybe a muscle's tight, but also where the capsule's tight. So we're just kind of taking a look at that. How far it goes this way, so you can kind of take a look at that. How far it goes this way. You can see I got a little bit more on my right side than my left side. And I also can then test internal rotation. So that was external rotation. Internal rotation is rotating in. So just look at how far that is, or this, okay? Another way to do that is to just check while you're laying on your belly. Problem is you can't really see this, but someone else can, especially rotation at internal. This is, your foot goes out, your femur is going in, so you're just seeing how far that goes. And then, maybe you can see that, I'll try to do it again. This one, and this one. And just feeling how tight each one is, and just feeling what's going on with it, and just noticing which one's more restricted than the other. And that's one big part of my approach, is how we want to detect the differences between left and right and see how we can do to affect those. And that's what we do in the program that I do, is how to address how those body imbalances work. So really great thing to check out. One big thing you can do to see if it improves some motion is sometimes when that hip, so look at this, this is kind of like an example of the femur. It's got the neck here, and here's the ball. Here's the socket, and sometimes it bangs into the side. I don't know if you can see that exactly, but basically it needs to kind of spin and move and have some space. A lot of times it doesn't. So one way to do that is to get something to distract the joint. Get a rubber band or something here to pull that joint out so you can spin and move better. And if it feels better as you move that, then we know that we're onto something really good. So, and it's a thing that can be done regularly, and I love it when I do it. So I want to show you that. Right here I have a rubber band, big fat one. It needs to be pretty big and fat, and you have to have a very sturdy post. That's why I'm kind of hanging out right here by the pole. And so then from here, that we do is to loop this in like that. Make a good firm connection here so you can kind of get your hip to go in through here. So I'm going to try to work this out so you can kind of see it. One way to do it is just to kind of bring your leg into here and then just walk far enough away. And I might be going off camera now, but let me see. But basically here I can kind of get myself in here, and then I can do some rotations. So I can move that. I can get on my hands and knees and get going down like this, bring it out far enough, and then just rotate my hip back and forth. And that feels quite a bit better when I do it that way. And you can do it at different angles too, but basically that's one of the major ones I really like to do. Assessing my left one, kind of see how that does. Get in through here, and then pulling through. I'll just kind of go like this. Kind of work on pulling that in. And can be done in all different directions too. Bringing this up, even just coming out here. Let's see if I can show it. Yeah, like this. Just get in like this, and then you can just do rotations in and out like this, or just shifting away and back and just doing little circles. Usually feels pretty good for a sore hip, especially when that feels restricted and tight. You can do a ton of these. I would say do several reps, even like 50 or 100 reps of these, just to get the joint moving a little better. And then coming back to your testing them. So after you do some of those things to get the joint moving and rotating well and getting some space in there, then you can come right back and assess how it moves again. Okay, so you can kind of see how it does. One big factor is just noticing what the changes are with whatever you do. So go ahead and take a look at that when you practice it. Do several reps and get a sense how those things are changing or not. And then we have a systematic way of looking about left and right differences and how those changes happen. And that's one of the big things that I found to be very helpful as well. basically when you have a tight restricted left side, let's say, you just do your right side. And actually this example, when I can't go as far this way, I can just do some reps here and just do a ton of them, like 50 or 100, a bunch of them. And then after several reps, then coming back and seeing if that movement gets better. Very surprising that sometimes it can. And also looking at other parts of the body, for example, your trunk, seeing where all the body parts integrate into how your hip is moving. Because it's not just about that located spot. This will help get to that spot and often does wonders, but there's other parts that if it's not coming along, that's what you want to look at. So that will make other things like your pigeon stretch better too. The pigeon stretch is basically, crossing your leg over and doing this. Sometimes what happens is if your joint is not distracted, it's just kind of jamming into each other as you're trying to do the stretch. So it won't provide a very good stretch. So then you can actually put this in and then apply that stretch. So I'll just kind of show it back here. You come back here and then get that distraction to happen and then come back down into that. So you're getting that stretch as the tissue's coming apart, you're getting some distraction of the joint itself. So that's a really helpful technique to kind of get more out of your stretching versus just kind of trying to push and stretch on it hard, because otherwise it just doesn't seem to release as well. And so you want to kind of save the time that you can and get the most out of the stretch that you're going to do. So I hope that helps you. I hope that gets you some more hip rotation for all you tight hip guys out there. I'm one of them. This is the one I do regularly, and I think you'll find that it really does a good job to kind of get you some more mobility there, which is super important because we need that to get moving as a runner. So wish you the best. Let me know how it goes. Thanks.